Whether you're new to brewing or you've been brewing for a while, I certainly think it's a good idea to add brewing software to your process. There's so many different tools and things you can use in brewing software. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 reasons I think you should be using brewing software. How's it going? My name is Brian. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you'd like to learn more about electric brewing, see how-to videos and tip videos just like this one, consider subscribing. And if you do, don't forget to click that bell so you won't miss a video when it comes out. So the software that I am using is Brewfather. I highly recommend the Brewfather software because it's what I'm using, and it's absolutely great. So let's go take a look. All right, so when you first come into Brewfather, you're going to see basically recipes. If you don't have any recipes, you're not going to be seeing anything because there won't be any in there. There might be a couple of test recipes, I think. But this is the basic overview of the recipe of the software. There are several different things, as you create recipes. You can see here I've got a batch of beer that's actually going right now. And we'll go over that here in just a minute. But then you've also got inventory where you can put all of your grain and everything that you have on hand. There's also a library that has different recipes in it. Equipment profiles, mash, fermentation, water, all those things. It's got a complete style guideline where you can kind of research whatever style you want to brew. And then it's also got tools, which, everything that you need pretty much for brewing is in here. So the first reason that I feel like you need to be using software, especially if you're beginning, is to get a familiarity with it. And what I mean familiarity is, entering your ingredients, entering the, your hops, your yeast, all that sort of thing. Not really anything complex. And as a matter of fact, I did do a video on entering a beer kit into Brewfather. And if you want to check that out, you can just click the card up here above and take a look at that. But I go over kind of the ins and outs of entering a kit and everything. But I think familiarity is a really good reason to start using it now and early in your brewing career, if you will, because there's going to come a point where you're probably going to want to make your own recipes. And when you do, you're going to need to know how to enter those and what different ingredients do and how they affect the brewing, process and all that. So now another part of that familiarity piece is the timers that are incorporated into Brewfather. It has everything step by step that you need to be doing on your brew day. It tells you, what water you need to prepare, what temperature it needs to be, what additions, if you're using any kind of water additions or anything like that. It also has a notification where it'll tell you to start heating up your sparge water. And then it also has the ability to, track whenever you need to add hops and all those sort of things. So especially if you've got a recipe that has like a ton of hops in it and you've got a really big schedule, some at 60 minutes, 45, 15, 10, Whirlpool, all that kind of stuff, definitely is advantageous to have a timer in your brewing software so that you can be notified when you need to add all those things in case you're having a couple of beers when you're brewing or whatever. But it's definitely another part of the familiarity piece that will make a lot of difference in your brew day, making it easier and less stressful for you. Number 2, I'm going to say, is the tools. Now this software has a bunch of tools in it. You can do, you can figure out what your alcohol is going to be based on the original gravity, the final gravity. It reads everything. It shows you everything here based on what you input into the software. There are other tools for yeast pitch rate, like if you want to know if you need to do a starter or something like that, you can definitely put all that information here. It has a manufacture date, so it calculates kind of how many cells are active at the time. It also has a refractometer adjustment, so you can put in, and this is something that I see all the time, is people wanting to take final gravity measurements on fermented wort with a refractometer. You can't do that without making some adjustments. This software will actually make those adjustments for you. So there's another one, hydrometer temperature correction. If you don't have a hydrometer such as the Brewing America hydrometer that has a temperature adjustment on it, you can put in your measured gravity and put the temperature of the wort in there, and it'll tell you what the calibrated measurement is. Carbonation, it has a carbonation. You can pick whatever style you want, and it'll tell you, how many volumes of CO2 you're going to put in there. There's just a lot of tools that are really, really awesome here. All right, number 3, inventory. Now, this is a little bit of a painstaking process as far as putting all of your items into the software. But what it does for you is whenever you go to brew a recipe, so let's say if I just put this summer shandy in here and I go to brew it, whenever I get to the next step, it's a planning step. And what happens is basically if you don't have any of these ingredients in your inventory, if you have everything inventoried, you can actually see that I don't have like Bryce wheat malt and I don't have Cascade. But what also is great about the inventory system is that whenever you check these boxes on items that you do have, it basically removes whatever the amount of that is from your inventory and reduces your stock. So you can, at a glance, you can take a look and see, okay, how much do I have? Do I have any of this ingredient? Let's say you're at the brew store and you wonder, do I have these hops? If you have all your inventory entered in here, you'll know immediately that you have whatever you need for a recipe you're going to brew. Now this one is a little bit more advanced, but for those of you that have tilt hydrometers or some of the other devices, Plato Keg, Plato Airlock, iSpindle, DIY, floaty hydrometer, brew piles, it has integrations for all of those devices. So basically what you can do is you can connect those devices and configure their connections so that it will actually report any of the information that those devices send to the cloud into your software, so that you'll be able to track, your fermentation or whatever the case may be, and you can actually do it all in one place in the Brewfather app without having to open up the Tilt app or anything like that. So here's a screen of a Tilt integration. You can kind of see where it tracks the original gravity and the temperature during the fermentation and everything. So all that stuff can be done right inside of the recipe, right inside of Brewfather. And there's a ton of integrations, and they're always working on more. I know that they're working on some more integrations as far as brew tools go and being able to control the software. There's also the Grainfather, I believe. There's a Grainfather integration when you go into settings and you look at your additional items. There's a Grainfather Bluetooth control, so you can actually use the Brewfather software to control your Grainfather brewing device. So that's something that's in beta right now, but I know for some people that use it, it does work. So that's number 4. Number 5 has a great deal to do with the community surrounding Brewfather. There's a lot of support for it in the brewing community. A lot of people are sharing their recipes. And as of currently, there are 3,700 recipes that are in Brewfather, the library, the online library. You can search for whatever type you like. Here's a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale clone. All you have to do is just click on that and you can actually copy it right into your system. There's no saving a file and importing and exporting and all that kind of stuff. It just makes it so easy to be able to use. The other thing about the developer of this, they do have a Facebook page, and the developer is always on there pretty much every single day and answering questions, taking suggestions for improvements. There's a whole bunch of support around this software. I'll leave a link down below for the software as well as the Facebook page where you can go and check out, the community and see, just how the interaction and everything is. But, the developer is definitely on top of this. And the great thing about the software is that it's cloud-based, so that, if there's any updates that need to be made, he can do it immediately, and it pushes out to basically every device. One bonus reason to be using this software is the app support. It has an app that basically is exactly like the web design. Everything that you find in the web version of this that you would run on a computer, pretty much that you can find it on your phone or in the mobile app on a tablet or whatever. And the nice thing about it is they don't charge you any extra for the mobile app. Some of these items are paid services in here. The integrations, that's something that you have to pay for. But as far as just regular use, you can test drive this software for free. I highly recommend this software, and I highly recommend that people start using it as soon as possible. Now, I know this was a pretty high-level overview of the software. I'm going to be doing some more in-depth tutorials on all the different features and different things you can do with the software. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of, what the software is capable of, what you can do with it, and I'm just kind of scratching the surface with that. We'll definitely get into some more content on it. Bonus points, if anybody can tell me what movie this shirt is from, leave me a comment down below and let me know. We certainly do appreciate everybody watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of these Brewfather videos, comment on that down below as well, and hit the like button so it shows me that you like this video and that you want to see more of this content. I certainly do appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not already for the next video in the queue. This has been Brian for Short Circuited Brewers. We'll see you on the next video.